Tawau Hawanin Tanshi at Lanoie. I'd like to acknowledge that Saskatchewan Polytechnic is situated on Treaty 4 and Treaty 6 territories, which is the ancestral land of the Cree, the Saulteaux, the Nez Dakota, Lakota, Nakota peoples, and the traditional homeland of the Métis. Today, our Saskatchewan Polytechnic community is observing Orange Shirt Day. This is a day of pain and heartache, as it marks the time of year when children were taken from their homes and placed in residential schools. Tomorrow, Saskatchewan Polytechnic will be closed in honor of the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. We solemnly take this day to recognize and commemorate the legacy of residential schools. This date coincides with Orange Shirt Day. The historic injustice enacted against Indigenous peoples across our country is something that will remain with us forever. We were reminded of these dark days in Canada's history just this last summer with the news of discoveries of unmarked graves at former residential school sites throughout the nation, including here in Saskatchewan. It's extremely fitting that we remind ourselves of why reconciliation is so important to all of us. It's fitting as well for us to remember that the foundation of all we do at Saskatchewan Polytechnic is built on Mio Wakodowin, good relationships. As our strategic plan notes, Mio Wakodowin allows us to work together to create an inclusive, collaborative, and respectful environment in which everyone can grow, thrive, and lift each other up. Please take time to reflect on the significance of this day, and if you're able, participate in events marking this important occasion. While acknowledging our past will not make the journey of reconciliation easier, it will help reinforce the truth that every child matters. Miigwech, Marcy Chu, Hidimaya, Kiniskumitan, Marcy.
I begin by respectfully acknowledging that I'm addressing you on Treaty 6 territory, and also that Saskatchewan Polytechnic is located on both Treaty 4 and Treaty 6 territories, which are the ancestral lands of the Cree, Saulteaux, Dene, Dakota, Lakota, and Nakota peoples, and the traditional homeland of the Métis. I am deeply honored to be bringing you greetings in recognition of Orange Shirt Day, which is observed annually to recognize and honor generations of Indigenous children who were forced from their homes into residential schools. As we recognize this day and the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation tomorrow, we extend our deepest empathy to all residential school survivors and to those whose lives and families were forever touched by this heartbreaking event in our history. This is why we wear orange, to remind us of these events and to show our deep respect and solidarity with Indigenous peoples everywhere. At Saskatchewan Polytechnic, our commitment to Mio Wakodowin and to reconciliation is more important than ever. As I have said before, the path of reconciliation involves acknowledging difficult truths like the residential school period. This is an important and necessary step to healing these deep wounds. As Provost and Vice President Academic, I am proud of Saskatchewan Polytechnic's commitment to support our Indigenous students, faculty, and partners, something which is reflected in our new academic plan. While the progress we have demonstrated over the years has been noteworthy, there is still much to accomplish. I hope everyone takes time today and tomorrow to pause and reflect on the meaning of Orange Shirt Day and the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, and realize that each of us, in our own unique way, can raise awareness about the history and legacies of the residential school system in Canada. Thank you.
Pansay, my name is Deanna Speidel, and I'm the Director of Indigenous Strategy. I'd first of all like to acknowledge the COVID survivors and the family and friends of those that did not survive. Saskatchewan Polytechnic has moved its on-campus Orange Shirt Day events to September 29th to accommodate the Day of Reflection for the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. We will be wearing orange on September 29th to honor the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit children who survived residential schools and those that did not. Let's put our hearts and minds together and work towards Mi'kmaq and reconciliation by understanding and recognizing the truth of Indian residential schools. On this day, visitors to Saskatchewan Polytechnic's Prince Albert campus will be welcomed by an art installation in the cafeteria. This new Indigenous mural tells the story of inclusion and belonging. Filling a 12-foot circle in the brick wall, the mural was painted in 4 quadrants to represent the Indigenous medicine wheel. It is a powerful mural that connects our local community and the wider world through education. One of the goals of Indigenous strategy is a Vik Wiawau, which is a Michif word for belonging. Saskatchewan Polytechnic strives to create inclusive, respectful, and welcoming campuses where Indigenous students have a sense of belonging. Including Indigenous artwork on our campus is one of the ways Saskatchewan Polytechnic celebrates our Indigenous communities and supports truth and reconciliation calls to action. Orange Shirt Day was chosen because it's that time of the year when children were taken from their homes and placed in these Indian residential schools. It's an opportunity for Indigenous people, local government, schools, and community to come together in the spirit of reconciliation and hope. What this day means to me personally is I have a mother and a grandmother who attended Indian residential schools and day schools. I am the first generation in my family that was not forcibly removed from my home and community to attend a residential school. And acknowledging the truth of these schools spread across the nation from coast to coast to coast about the graveyards on school grounds. This is just one of the many harms that occurred. I've asked my NOSIM to share a song for all the children that lay in these unmarked graves whose little voices whispered they found us. Kananaskumtin.
Remember me, when the sun comes up in the morning sky, there will be soaring with the eagle so high, feeling free. Remember me, down the little road, hand in hand, you and me. Hey-yo, hey-yo, hey-yo.
There has been talk of filling the empty circle within the cafeteria for years now, and now that we're close to completion, it's getting very exciting.
Well, I think it's another contribution that hopefully enhances Indigenous students' experience here on campus and improves Indigenous students' success or experience.
The space will create a sense of belonging for Indigenous students. They'll see it and hopefully be feeling warm and welcomed into the space.
It's very exciting. It's, the piece symbolizes diversity and unity amongst our community. It has a reference to Turtle Island and our history, a connection to Earth. It's prepared and contributed by 2 Indigenous artists from our community. It comes at a time when everyone's attention is on truth and reconciliation. I think it's a fantastic piece.
The inspiration for the project came from a conversation I had with Shelley Bellamere back in 2019. Her and I were in the cafeteria and she was looking at the empty circle and thought, we need to do something on this, in this cafeteria, in this circle. And she knew I was a painter and she wanted me to do something with it. And of course I got excited about it, and so ideas came naturally for her and I. And her inspiration was the Turtle Island story, and wouldn't it be great if the turtle had a tree on his back and in the foliage or in the tree was the world map. So that can represent our newcomers, our international students, and everyone from around the world is welcome to Turtle Island. So that was where the inspiration came from. And from there, I wanted to work with another artist in the community, in the Prince Albert community, and we were fortunate enough during COVID to have a student rep on our committee, and she knew Jordan Twist's family, and she knew she could contact the family. And so that's where the process started, was contacting Jordan, going through facilities, going through all those proposals, and going from there. So then when we got the proposal approved, Jordan and I started meeting. Of course, there was restrictions with COVID, so we could only meet in a public place. So we would meet at Tim Hortons or at the mall in the cafeteria. And so since we couldn't work on them together, Jordan took a canvas, I took a canvas, and we had the criteria that the committee wanted. So one of the criteria was the mural wanted to be emphasized Treaty 6 territory. Another criteria was welcoming newcomers and our international population at Sask Polytech. She did a painting, I did a painting, and then we sat down together and the restrictions were lifted. I think this was in May, early May, and we came to my garage because we wanted to have a space to work on it. The perfect thing about this mural is that it's a circle. And so that is perfect for a medicine wheel. And so that was our inspiration, was to make it a medicine wheel. And Saskatchewan Polytechnic has their own medicine wheel, and it has the 4 quadrants with the colors, and 4 different colors. And then in the center is the Sask Poly community, and it's purple. So our process from there was to emphasize our collaboration of our 2 paintings to go into one. So we took elements of her painting, elements of my painting, but we still wanted to include that vision of Shelley Bellamere.
My favorite part of the project was discovering new things with another artist, which is Annette. There's been dozens of times where we found a new color, or we looked at something that the other artist has done or made, like the leaves or the little fins on the turtle, and how they almost seem to glow. And we fawned over them for weeks, and it's just something that was very eye-opening to how art can make you feel. My technique for painting was just visualizing it and then just getting it on there. And if it doesn't look good, you go again. You go again. You always have to go again. To be a young growing artist is, there's gonna be a lot of people looking for art and wanting to see something new and wanting to feel something, especially in Saskatchewan and especially in the Prince Albert community, of how it's growing. And I promise that there will always be a place for you. You just have to start somewhere and just start doing what you want to do. Whether it's painting or drawing, you just gotta start somewhere.
So the symbolism in each quadrant, so the yellow quadrant, I'm forgetting my locations now, I have it down. As you can see, there's the buffalo, and one of the philosophies at Saskatchewan Polytechnic with the Indigenous students' success strategy is buffalo, and it encompasses that education is the new buffalo. So I wanted to make sure that we had some, either 1 or 2, but Jordan created the 3 and I just really liked the 3 and we went with the 3. So that was why we included the bison. And then when you see the whole thing together, the landscape itself sort of looks like the landscape of the riverbank of Prince Albert. So that's where we envisioned the Treaty 6 territory land. And then in the quadrant with the turtle, we really wanted to make sure the turtle had a lot of purple in it, just to incorporate Sask Polytech with their medicine wheel, with the purple being in the center. And since the turtle is in the center, we wanted to make sure that he or she had the purple encompassed into that turtle. And then the river, the North Saskatchewan River, it's in all of its glory. As you can see, it's quite moving. And then the quadrant with the foliage and the leaves, maybe not right away, you might not notice it, but you can, once you see it, you can unsee it. It's the world map. So then you'll see that it's the whole world brought onto the back of that turtle, and for that Turtle Island story. That is actually heavy with the Ojibwe nation. Peace.
Good morning. My name is Anita Cameron. I'm the Indigenous Student Center Coordinator at Saskatchewan Polytechnic Prince Albert campus. I was asked as part of my coordinator duties to support the unveiling of the mural today. September 29th, we are observing Orange Shirt Day and the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. It is the hope that our students attending Saskatchewan Polytechnic and its PA campus have pride in themselves, and they are valued, their voices heard, and that there is space here for them. It is your gifts that you bring to our school, and that you are worthy to be here. These institutes were not built for our students, just like the story of Phyllis Webstead, who went to school. Phyllis was not felt welcome. She was not felt to be worthful of being there. Her clothes were taken away, and the whole story of the Orange Shirt Day. We want our campus and we want our institute to welcome our Indigenous students with open arms, and that you belong here, that you are welcome, and that you're creating community. And through the mural and the commitment to indigenization, we are unveiling our mural today. And so we hope that this brings awareness of indigenization and our space that we rightfully belong here as students and staff. With that.